Guys, this is Rosa Kelly. Welcome back to the channel. Last week I read all kinds of horror books, and now I am in the mood to find comfort and find beautiful books to read. And so I have three books that I want to read and one that I hope to get to as well. Also, I want to be reading some of the books that I have on my 26 books to read for 2026 because I have been kind of neglecting that list a little bit. So, two of these books are from that list as well. But yeah, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, leave a like, and if you like books as much as I do, let's be friends. So let's talk about books. So the first book that I want to read on this reading vlog is going to be Matt Haig's The Midnight Train. So I love Matt Haig's books. I've read all of them so far. I believe this is the newest release, and I excited to get to this book as well. So on this book, we are following this person who I believe recently passed away and goes on to this train. And so this train stops at every stage of his life, and he's basically a ghost that he can go and revisit a lot of his life moments that at the time he didn't understand the meaning of, but now him being older and basically seeing his own life from a different perspective, he can kind of understand the meaning of the situations that he lived through, which I think is a fascinating concept to be able to go back in time and look at your life. And sometimes you might not understand why things happen the way they do and the real meaning behind them, but reaching a different level of maturity and going back to those different scenarios and really understanding what you went through and the message and really the beauty of life, even on the hardest parts of life. So I am really looking forward to reading this book. Next book that I want to read on this vlog is going to be Remarkable Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. And this is not on my 26 books to read, but it was definitely a book that I've been wanting to read for a while. And now that the movie is out in Netflix, believe me, I have been controlling myself to watch the movie because I want to read the book first. So I watched the first 5 minutes of the movie and I immediately loved it. And so I turned it off right away and I said, no, I have to read the book first. I don't know why. Watching the movie first, which is, it's not a bad thing, but sometimes it just kind of changes the way you read the book, because I think when you read the book, you're playing your own movie in your head, and then you experience it a whole other way. So I don't want to play in my head the memory, the movie that I watch. I want to create my own movie, if that makes any sense. That's my favorite part of reading, kind of imagining the scenario, imagining the things that are happening, imagining the people, how they look on my perspective. And then if the book comes into a movie, then I really enjoy seeing it, how other people interpret that same book. But anyway, so this is a beautiful book about friendship between this lady that works on this kind of like an aquarium, I think, and this octopus. And that's all I know. I also know that it has a beautiful, heartwarming message. The next book that I have is The Heartbreak Hotel. And this book is by Ellen O'Clover. And this is part of my 26 books to read on 2026. And I found this book on Book of the Month, but I don't know if I ever heard anybody talking about this book. But when I read the synopsis of the book, I was really interested on, and I really wanted to add it to my 26 books to read. Second chance romance, and I kind of like that trope on romance, but this book, I think it's a little bit more because she comes from a very difficult background situation with her own family, and this Heartbreak Hotel is something that she starts on as a way of coping with her own losses, but also to help other people heal their broken hearts. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a romance related broken heart, but also, there are many ways to find yourself in a position of having a broken heart, like losing a loved one, losing a pet, like I recently did. My sweet dog passed away, and it has been a bit of an adjustment and very sad. And so, yeah, so I think this is going to be a really beautiful book about healing the heart and also finding new friendships. And the last book that I'm hoping to get to on this vlog is going to be Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. This is a fantasy Regency romance, and that's all I know about it. Now, this is also my 26 books to read for 2026. So, like I said, I really want to prioritize books on that list, since now we're like pretty much halfway through the year. And I know this is a romance story, but I also heard it has a lot of magic and a lot of beautiful messages in life. So I'm going to add it to this list. So these are going to be the books that I'm going to be hoping to read for this vlog. I hope that you guys come along with me on my little reading journey. Grab a cup of tea, cup of coffee, and let's get cozy and read some books. Hey guys, I am here with an update on the reading. Also, please don't mind the stain on my shirt. I'm trying to stay close to the camera. It is clean, it's just stain, and I can't get stains out, so it's a new shirt, which kind of sucks. But anyway, so we are going to talk about books now. So I went ahead and started yesterday both of these books, and I am halfway through each one. I've been flying through these books. They're both so entertaining, so easy to read. So on this book, we are following Lou. Lou recently broke up with her boyfriend. The boyfriend was this rich superstar. He ended up cheating on her, and then they split up, but she really wanted to kind of stay living in the house where they were sharing, because that was like her dream house. And her growing up didn't really have a stable house, a stable home, and this house kind of gave her that sense of belonging somewhere, so she didn't want to give that up. Now this house was only rented, and so the boyfriend Nate kind of agreed to let her stay and take over the lease. But the problem with that is that she didn't really have a stable income to be able to afford this big house. And so she comes up with the idea to run this Airbnb. She decides to talk to the house owner to get his permission. And so that's when she meets Henry. Henry is the homeowner, and he seems to be a very nice guy. Clearly there's an attraction from the beginning, but he's a little bit serious, kind of like a grumpy guy. But he agrees to let her do the Airbnb as long as he didn't really have to be involved, and make sure to follow all the rules and regulations. And slowly you start to see these kind of connection coming up, and him wanting to help a little bit more, and them getting to know each other. So that is actually really cute. Also, she has this friend that's also going through a breakup, and they decide to make this into kind of like a heartbreak hotel where people can go and heal their broken heart, which I really love. So she finally goes with the plan and opens this Airbnb. And there's other people that are coming to stay in this hotel. So far, I'm really enjoying the book. I am enjoying like the adventures, because there's all these programs that she created for the Heartbreak Hotel, like group therapy, hiking sessions, and different activities. I just wish we knew a little bit more or like the background of the people that are going in there. They have mentioned that they have like a heartbreak, but we don't really go too much on detail. So I think and I hope that we get more exploration onto not just Lou and Henry, but also on the people that are going through this heartbreak hotel. I think there's a lot of things that we could probably be learning from other experiences other than just the main characters of the book. But yeah, so that is so far how where I am with the book. And so yeah, so I can't wait to see what the other half takes us to. For the midnight train, we are following Wilbur. He's on this train going through the different stages of his life and kind of reliving some key moments of his life and kind of having a more deep understanding of the things that happened to him in order for him to kind of achieve that eternity, beautiful eternity afterlife. He has to go through these points and kind of understand the meaning. So I think it's a beautiful concept, like I said, going back to your life, but I can only imagine going back to points in life. He was in love with this girl named Maggie, and he comes from a very poor background, but also he's very studious. He loves to read, and he had this goal of going to Oxford. So he ends up going to Oxford and getting a scholarship, but there's a lot of conversation about how people in your class is supposed to always stay in your class to make sure there's always kind of like the different types of workforce. Like you can't have everybody be an intellectual because we wouldn't have people that, you know, to do manual work. So the upper class is always making sure that there is a status quo and who is staying where and who is doing what. But then there is always the one person, or you know, the one out of the group that you know is going to go far and you know is going to intrude onto that kind of like higher class thinker level. That is the person who kind of one of the chosen ones to try to make changes in the system in a way. So I mean, so many conversation points on this book and so mind-blowing, a lot of the ideas and concepts. But what I really like was this part that he said, so this is for him kind of having that chance of seeing Maggie one more time, like doing something that would allow him to see Maggie one more day, or doing something that will allow him to see Maggie for all eternity in the afterlife. And so he says something so beautiful because it says, but all I will say is that sometimes life is the most important thing. Seeing Maggie for all eternity as a ghost is not the same as sitting next to her for a single day in earth. I thought that was so beautiful. It also says, it's the difference between the voice and an echo. You could hear the echo of a song for all time, but it will never beat hearing the song. Isn't that beautiful? Like, I just love. So that is one of the quotes that I highlighted, and yeah, can't wait to read more of this book. Good morning, guys. Today is going to be a super cozy day because I think I'm just gonna stay in bed and do some reading. I am in zero mood to get out of bed because my girls are in summer break, which means they go to bed late and they love to cook and bake. So that's what I did yesterday, and my kitchen is a nightmare. Like, there's a pile of dishes that I'm not gonna deal with. So I'm gonna bunker in my room and read my books. I had a really sweet time with my daughters yesterday. We did some reading in the park. We went to the city, explored a bookstore, and did some reading waiting for the sunset. That never happened because it was so cloudy that there was no sun to see the sunset. But anyway, I have a pile of books that I want to read. I also picked up a new book yesterday, which is The Lion Woman of the Tehran by Marjan Kamali. I read the review section on the back, the comment section on the inside, and it seemed really interesting, really heartwarming, something that I really want to read right now. And then after that, we went next door to the bookstore, which had an ice cream shop. So we went to have ice cream. And this lady came to me and said, "Oh my God, that is such a good book." And so I was like, "Wow, really?" I was super excited to get started with this book right away. So I did read a little bit of this in the park, which was really nice. Yeah, so I am super tired today. I don't know what is going on with my body. Yeah, so I think today I'm just going to try to take a rest day. I'm just going to read. So I have this much left on this book, which is just a little bit less than half. Honestly, I didn't do a little progress because I got into this book. But yeah, so I'm gonna save this for later. I'll continue this later, but I'm going to continue reading The Heartbreak Hotel. It's going to be a very cozy, lazy reading day. Make sure that you take a break, drink a lot of water, and enjoy yourself. Just do some reading, take a little break from life like I'm trying to do right now, and yeah, take care of yourself. Let's talk about books. So last night I was able to finish The Midnight Train by Mac Hay, and oh my gosh, I mean, look at the amount of annotations, and I didn't even annotate everything that I wanted to highlight. Some things were more like story, part of the story, but this book needs to be life lesson and kind of like a manual in life, like the all that I'm taking with me from this book. It is just so beautiful. It really makes you think about the actual meaning of life and maybe ambition. Like, sometimes because we live in a world that the more you make, the more you are, and also like when enough is enough in terms of like living a comfortable life. But what if you already live a comfortable life, but you still want more, because you kind of have that sense that relates income and money to your value as a person. And so understanding that sometimes it's too late, understanding that at the end of your life. But oh my goodness, and finding love. This book, it's not a romance, but it should be. It should be because it has the most beautiful love quotes and sentiments, maybe of regret, of not loving enough when you knew so deeply how much you love someone, but you always kind of letting life go by and letting other things be more important than what really is important, which is the love that you have for another person. And oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. So I am happy that I did annotations because I can go back and reread some of my favorite sections of the book. And I color coded these. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but like the lights color is kind of like key points on the story, moments where he's going back in life and realizing the decisions that he made. What would have been different? What would he do now? Dark ones are like my favorite quotes, so I can quickly just go to those. And then the orange ones are like just simply beautiful life quotes. So I won't be reading all the quotes. I don't want to spoil the book for you, but if you're looking for a really heartwarming book that is gonna just kind of open your eyes a little bit on the meaning of life, also a little bit of like experiencing loss and learning how to move on even with those sad, parts of your life. But anyway, I really, really love this book. 5 stars all around. Then I did a little bit of progress on the Heartbreak Hotel. I am now on page 197, so I read a little bit more of these. And I am also really loving how this book is going. I'm not annotating, there's not like a lot of life quotes on this book, but there are definitely some aspects that you can relate to. And now that you're getting to know more about, the people involved, and I still kind of want more background story for the people that are going to the Heartbreak Hotel, but at least we're getting more background story on the sister. We're getting more background story on Henry, who is the owner of the house, and it is so. I mean, it's a little bit sad, but also again like dealing with heartbreak, not in a sense maybe of a relationship, but like something else, someone so special in your life that you lost, and learning how to heal your heart after that. So I am really enjoying this book. Oh, and then also the romance, it's getting really sweet, and yeah, it's just really nice to kind of see those sparks of life coming back to you after you have a really bad breakup. But yeah, enjoying that book. Also, I went ahead and started Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt, and I am already on page, this one doesn't have a page number, like 138. And I am listening to this also on audio, so I put my headphones on, but I was actually reading along with these. Well, quote unquote reading along, because I've also been watching the soccer games a little bit this morning as well. But I love this book so far. I am loving the friendship that is building between the octopus and the lady. I think her name is Tova. I love the chapters of the octopus because he has a lot of observations on people and human behavior that he's kind of looking through this glass, and he has a really, like different understanding of life. And because he's an octopus and he doesn't, you know, deal so much with human emotion, says that he doesn't understand how humans have so much trouble communicating and expressing their emotions when they have this like super large language and so many words to communicate how they're feeling, but still yet have an issue communicating their feelings and opening up to other people. And yeah, and then also we're getting to know more of Tova, who is the lady that works at the aquarium. So she started working at the aquarium cleaning after her husband passed away, but also she has experienced the loss of her son when he was only 18 years old. So she's dealing with sentiments of grief, but also I think she needs to understand what happened to him. I think it wasn't very clear what happened to him, so we are discovering a little bit more of that. I think I'm flying through the chapters because I really want to get to whatever the next octopus chapter. We get to see different characters, different situations they are struggling with in life. And so yeah, so far really enjoying this book. I am going to continue reading my book, but look at this view I have. Isn't that beautiful? So I am at the Golden Gate because my daughter had an event nearby, and I'm waiting for her to be finished, and here I am. So I'm gonna use this time to do a little bit of reading and finish this book. I only have a couple chapters left, so that's what we're gonna be doing. Guys, so I am here with a little update on the reading, and also I went to see Shakira yesterday. I just had to say it because it was the best show. It's a little bit hard to stay in track with reading when there is so much happening around everywhere with the soccer games, the watch parties, all these extra activities, and it's been really fun. But anyway, I did manage to finish The Heartbreak Hotel, and I love this book. I am not really into contemporary romance. I mean, I have my favorite authors, but I usually don't venture much from that because it's just not my cup of tea. But I have to say that I absolutely love this because the romance felt so much more mature. There was a lot of good conversation, and it was a bit of miscommunication that happened for a little bit, but then they went straight into, okay, let's talk about this. And I like that. I like that there was very clear resolution of conflict. I also like that both the main characters kind of had a lot of background life situations that they were still dealing with, and they were pretty open about it after the whole confusion part. They were really open about sharing and understanding that the other person might want a little bit more time to talk about things, but also respecting the relationship. I don't know, I just really enjoyed that part. And also, we get to know a lot more of the background of Henry, the background of um, Lou and her sister and her mother, and all the drama they went through growing up, all the hardship. And also for the people visiting the hotel, well, kind of became like family and like friends. And not just because she's listening to their stories, but they really care about how she's feeling, even though she's the one kind of hosting the hotel and kind of using her knowledge as a counselor to listen to them and knowing what to say a little bit and knowing how to get into people's shoes and understand their feelings. There was also a part where she really, was struggling with her own problems and understanding where she stands in life. And they were there for her to kind of listen and give her that same advice back. And I really love that sense of community and friendship and found family. And so I thought it was really good. The character development I really enjoyed. I recommend this book if you are even if you're not into contemporary romance, but you like more mature romance, more grown up situations in terms of like you already coming from, you from a heavy background in life. So it's not like your first encounter with love. It's kind of like, okay, let's now realize what we each have been through in life and support each other. So I really love that part of the book. But yeah, so that is this book here. And then I also made some progress on Remarkably Bright Creatures. So I am actually listening to this on audiobook, and I have been going on walks. What do you know? I've been going on walks with my daughter, and I've been listening to the audiobook as we walk around, which has been so relaxing. And it's just such a refreshing change for me because I usually don't go on walks. Anyway, I am now on page 200, and I mentioned the octopus before, how his chapters are my favorite because he just has this outstanding or outsider point of view on human behavior that I think is so fascinating. Things that really happen that he's wondering because he's looking at humans through a glass on this aquarium. So he's actually like wondering why they do certain things. And then you start thinking, yeah, why do we do certain things? And some things are funny, but some things really make you think about how we humans react. Now, also, I'm really enjoying this story. The story has developed so much more. So, as I mentioned, we were following Tova. She is the lady who cleans the aquarium and is kind of dealing with her loss of her son. She has dealt with that for her whole life. It kind of changed her behavior and for her whole life. And also, she recently lost her husband. So she's kind of on that stage in life where she is maybe retiring, maybe downsizing and thinking about, going, she's going through it in life. And we're also following Cameron, who is a younger person I don't know how old is he, but he's kind of not getting his act together yet. And he recently broke up with the girlfriend. The girlfriend technically kicked him out because he can't hold on to a job. And now we're also following him trying to find his way in life and also dealing with the loss of his mom. And he, or not lost, but I think he felt he was abandoned by his mom. He never got to meet his father, so he's on that time of life where he is very curious about where he's coming from and trying to find information about the mother and about who the father could have been, because he found a box with some of his mother's belongings. So anyway, so you're really getting more into each one of them and and their different life situations. I think somehow the lives are gonna intertwine and connect at some point. So really excited to continue reading that. So today is Sunday. That is my main goal, to finish this book as I continue watching the World Cup and doing some cleaning around the house. So I will hopefully be done with this one pretty soon. Also, since now I need a new physical book, I'm going to start reading Have a Soul by Olivia Atwater. So I think I'm gonna hopefully be able to read this book as well. So I think this book is only 200, I was looking at this, 240 pages or something like that, so hopefully pretty doable. I do have a goal of reading 100 pages each day, so let's hope that I can continue with that. And so yeah, so that is the update for right now, and we'll see if I get to finish these two books on the next day or so. Guys, so I am here with an update. I got a little bit of a cold, so I haven't updated in a couple days, but I did finish Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt, and I love this book. It was very heartwarming, which is what I was looking for. I love the connection of the octopus, the friendship of the lady kind of finding um, it's like a second chance in life after losing her husband, losing her son for many years, dealing with, just kind of like loneliness, finding new joy in life. I really love that. Also, I really love the observations of the octopus about humans. I think I mentioned that before, all the little things that he observes and how sometimes maybe we underestimate how smart animals are just because we don't understand their language, and they don't have a full language. They offer so many signs and so many things that we realize how much we can learn from animals as well, and especially this octopus being so conscious of everything and so observational. And I just really love this. So now I am ready to watch the movie. I kind of right now, I think I mentioned at the beginning, I didn't watch the movie because I wanted to read the book first. I think I'm gonna let it sink in a couple more days before watching the movie. I'm scared of the movie not being the same as the book and not really fulfilling the expectations that I have, which is weird because I was dying to watch the movie before reading the book. But yeah, maybe I'll have a little movie night and finish the movie and see how it complements the book. Also, I went ahead and start Have a Soul by Olivia Atwater, and I am 100 pages into this book. And this is like a Regency romance. We're following two cousins. One of them had falling under a spell by a fairy, and the fairy basically took half her soul, meaning she can really feel all the emotions. And they're really focused right now about finding a husband for one of the cousins, but the cousin that is looking for a husband, she's actually looking for someone who can help the other cousin that had that spell. I love the connection between the cousins, and I really love the beginning of the fairy and kind of like the story of how she lost half of her soul. It started really good, but now it's getting a little bit slow, and so yeah, so it's probably not what I was expecting yet. So yeah, so far I don't know how I feel about this book. I will continue reading it. Hey guys, so I am here with a final update on the reading vlog. So I went ahead and finished Half a Soul yesterday, and I do want to say I enjoyed the book. The writing was beautiful. I love the fact that it was a Regency romance, so you get a lot of detail on that, and it was very cozy and relaxing to read. I did find this book a little bit on the slower side. I really enjoyed the beginning and that magic, that mystery of this fairy taking half of the girl's soul. But I wished I would have continued more throughout the book. I feel like the center of the book was some more about the ball gowns, the ball dances, the regency, the kind of like candidates to who's gonna marry the cousin, and not a lot of that fairy world. Now, I also wish there was more information about why this fairy took the soul of this girl, half the soul of this girl. I know there was a pre-arrangement with the mom. Now, also, I don't know anything about the mom, why she made this arrangement, and why did this fairy needed these souls he was taking from children, which was really sad. I didn't like the relationship. Well, this has nothing to do with the writing, but like the relationship between the aunt that was taking care of Dora was so heartbreaking. Like that was so sad because Dora's half soul was taken. She wasn't fully connected with all her emotions, but she understood that some things were not nice, the things that were done to her. She just wouldn't feel it like a normal person will feel, like sad, or like she would just understand that in any other case a person will be crying because of this, but not me. I can just kind of ignore it and let it pass. But it was heartbreaking nonetheless because the end was just very mean and unfair to her. Also, there was a part on this book where somebody tells Dora that even though she only has half a soul, she's still a full person, and that made me tear. Like that was just beautiful to kind of hear, and it was like a reassuring moment for her because she always felt so incomplete and undeserving of everything, that I think that was kind of the strength that she needed to realize that she was a full person after all. So yeah, it has some sweet moments, some unanswered questions, and I will read the next book on the series. Hopefully we will get more of the fairy world explained and why this fairy is doing this weird magical exchanges with souls. So yeah, I think I'm missing something, but anyway, a good read nonetheless. I rated this book 3 stars. I also wanted to let you know that I went ahead and watched the movie for Remarkably Bright Creatures. And I love the movie. The movie is not exactly as the book, but I think the movie is just so beautiful. I love how they showcase the friendship between Tova and Marcellus the octopus. I love it. I love the graphics, especially on the aquarium and the graphics on, the images of the actual under the sea. I thought they were beautiful. It was beautifully done. The movie was a little bit different from the book, especially the side of Cameron. Like Cameron's story was way different, but I think it worked out for the best. So I like the changes that the movie made, because I think for the book, some of his background story and some of his interactions with his friend was kind of like something that threw me back a little bit, like, why do we care about this from the book? So they changed it on the movie a little bit, and I think that makes sense. But I don't know, I kind of like both stories. I think the one on the book had a little bit more depth than the one on the movie, and some characters were left behind on the movie that I thought they had more significance for Cameron in the book. But yeah, so love the movie, watch it. The movie made me cry. The book didn't really make me cry, but the movie did. I mean, obviously the graphics and such an amazing cast in that movie as well. Then we finished The Heartbreak Hotel, we finished Mad Hay, and I am so happy with how this week went. I think if I have to rate all these books in order of maybe yes, no, I will say 100% yes. Read this book. This one also a yes. I think the book was so beautiful. A little bit of slow moments, but overall the story was well told, and the observations of the octopus. Oh my gosh, if you like the movie and you like the observations of the octopus, read the book. You get so much more out of the book on that. Heartbreak Hotel, I want to say maybe if you're looking for a romance book that also has the cozy small town vibes and more mature, more like significant life stories, I recommend this one. And I'm gonna say also maybe on this one, if you like Regency, romance, that type of era, I think you will really like this book. I do like Regency, but I think maybe this was not the right moment for me because it did feel a little bit slower pace, which has been a difficult thing for an author to write something cozy and heartwarming and also like keep you wanting for more. Make it very soft and cozy, or you want to make it more like cozy, intriguing. I don't know how to describe it, but I enjoy all the books. I hope that you guys enjoy this vlog, and I can't wait to start a whole new list of books for the next one, and I will see you guys real soon. Bye.